Hello, Lone Wolf Carter here, and I am at New Moon Essence Shop, and one of the owners here have gifted and bestowed upon me a gifted tarot card reader, and so I thought, what better opportunity it would be if I asked for a reading for Witchcraft TV. So tell me, how long have you been reading cards? What kind of cards are you reading, and how is this whole reading for Witchcraft TV going to play out?
Great. So my name is Christine, and I am from Olympia. And I read out of Boom Studios in Olympia. I have been reading cards for 20 years. I've recently reached out to read for strangers. It's been mostly a party trick or for myself or for friends. And so the good people of New Moon Essence has helped encourage me to read the masses. And I think the best way to go about with Witchcraft TV is that I will have you shuffle the deck as the home for Witchcraft TV and put those vibes into it, and then we'll just see what it says.
Let's do it.
Oh, and I'm also reading, it's the Sasparito deck from Stasia Burrington, who is a very talented artist out of SeaTac, and I highly suggest you to go to her website and check her out.
So just shuffle them?
Just shuffle. So shuffle. Put all the good vibes of Witchcraft TV into it until you think you're done, and then tap it 3 times and put it in front of me.
I don't think that Witchcraft TV's ever had a reading for us, so this is kind of exciting. Do that 1, 2, thrice.
Yep. Thank you. So I'm going to lay out my spread as kind of a skeleton of what we're going to talk about. And then as an intuitive reader, I like to read the story. And the story needs to make sense to the storyteller. So I will I will flesh out the various cards and try and explain each one in the sequence of the story. So we're going to start off with, what are we going to talk about? What do we want to talk about with Witchcraft TV? And there we go. Again, interesting. So, there's our beginning. I will show you each card once I lay out all the cards when I start to talk about it. We've got the past, we've got the present, we have the future, we have the above, we have the below, we have the conclusion, which is very interesting because some of these cards are echoing a private reading that I just did for our dear founder. So to start with, what we're going to talk about. So I have a little group over here, and then so I'll do groups. Sometimes they'll cluster, sometimes they'll move and flow. So we have a cluster, and then I call it the parent. So we have a cluster that started with the reverse 2 of Swords, the reverse Star, the 3 of Wands, and the reverse Hangman. And the parent card is our darling and grandmotherly Queen of Cups. Stasia's queens are some of the most nurturing, joyful, loving queens I've seen in decks. And so what I see this to us is, for Witchcraft TV, there is 3 of Wands is a spiritual gathering of the minds. It's the bringing together of our community through action. And since the Wands are also spirit and fire, this bodes well. There is also, we're still looking for our spark. We're still trying to find that little je ne sais quoi. We are also trying to find our balance, but don't want to fight. We're lovers, not fighters. This is not something that is constantly stabbing us in the heart. This is a peaceful mission, which is excellent. And then the Hangman, upside down. Yes. Thinking and taking a pause. Thinking and wondering, okay, we're here, we've made this thing. Take a breath. Mill it over. The Hangman is also a really excellent allegory for the story of Woden, where he sacrificed himself to himself, and that was in the pursuit of knowledge. So when you have the Hangman upside down, it's asking you, What are you, why are you so busy? What are you holding back from wanting to take that rest and maybe bring more knowledge? And what that will lead to is a deeper, more emotional, grandmotherly, emotional state, which is excellent because I feel that that's something that is completely lacking in the world today. And it would be glorious to have a media such as Witchcraft TV bring a little more Queen of Cups energy. The big, I call this the stoopy grandma. That just stereotypical joyous grandmother that I hope and wish everybody has had. I was very lucky to have that type of grandmother, but see how she hugs the soup. It's sharing, and it is a mature emotional ability. So, in the past, what is linking our kind of little group of what we want to talk about to what is actually going on? Is we have the Page of Pentacles. Pages are all about that useful energy and creating something. So there is this spark to want to create something tangible and something useful, but also beautiful, like the origami crane that our dear Page is holding. And it's a new beginning, and it's an emotional, ready to go. I always think about it as like the fresh-faced college student who's ready to change the world are the Pages. So we have this page as our bridge from our, what do we need to think about, grandma, emotional energy. We're going to create a thing. And in the past, Five of Swords upside down, awesome, because it is we want to create something that's soothing. The initial spark is, what is something that can be beneficial? This sword, Five of Swords, is an excellent one because you see right side up, you have all of the swords on the fingers. And I always say that every time you try to soothe yourself, you actually stab yourself. And when it's upside down, it is the reverse meaning to that of what we're trying to do is take some of that pain and soothe ourselves. Let's see what's bridging that to our future. What's bridging to our future is the lack of connection, that desire to want to connect with other people. It's a wand, so that could be spiritually and through action. So it's that desire to say, hey, I want to create this thing, and I want to connect with my people. I want to connect with community, and I want it to be broad. And currently we're sitting at the World, which is our last card of the deck, which is also a culmination and the end of a cycle. So maybe that's the end of the cycle of trying to search. That end of like, oh, look, we are creating this thing. We're doing things. We're going to events. We're talking to new people. We're trying new things, like getting our first reading on the airwaves. So we're having a culmination. Eve, the woman, is walking through the snake. She's finding that otherworldly knowledge, and we are ready to now start the cycle back to the Fool, but with that knowledge of the previous cycle, as we all do. So, where are we going from there? So right now we're in this space. Let's not change it. So let's not do anything crazy drastic. Upside down. Death is upside down. King of Wands. So we are now taking our emotional maturity and our understanding, and we're placing it with our wands, more spiritual energy, more going out there, more fire, more connections. Awesome. We have our High Priestesses upside down, which might mean that we need to have, she is our moon, so maybe connecting a little more with higher vibrational female deities, with of the strong. We happen to be at a temple of Athena, so coming and communing with her and the strong women to help balance that energy a little bit, because we have our king, and so we might want to turn our priestess right side up. So there's some work to be done, but what's moving forward is if there's not more to do. Because what our conclusion is justice, which is a fine conclusion, because that is bringing more equity and visibility and thoughtfulness to a space that is very fractured. And so if Witchcraft TV can help with the justice of having voices of those who tap into the world in different ways and offer those kinds of events, hooray, hooray. Above this is the time for sorrows is over. The overarching thing is we do not want to be victims. We do not want it to end in tears. This is not the mindset that is happening. Underlying the chariot. The chariot is wheels. So this could be maybe not the worry. So I read above and below. It just kind of depends on the cards. So above can be kind of what you're thinking, what you kind of know, like it's your brain going that. And then down the below can sometimes be your gut feeling, and that can either be your gut worry or your gut knowingness. And I feel that maybe this is a gut worry of where is this going? Is this going nowhere? It's a concern, but it's not necessarily true. Everything you think is not always true, but it's like that little knot. It can either be that warmth in your gut or that knot. This feels like a knot. And so it's like, okay, let's ask more. And that's when I pull cards. Maybe, so we've got our Ace of Wands. So it's this like, well, where do I start? Which is when you're starting a new thing or on this adventure, that's a very natural question to be like, well, am I starting it right? Is this the right place to start? We'll pull another. 10 of Swords, a nun. This is definitely the worry card. This is, oh my gosh, is it all going to end in tears? And let's do one more for good measure. It's not. We're going to cut through all that crap. Don't worry about it. We have our Knight of Swords. We have the action. We have the action of the clear intelligence and forward thinking. So I like it when I have a bunch of these either cards that run more negative or cards that are questioning. I like to pull and have them be that little knot to sit on top to go, hey, it is perfectly natural to be concerned when you start a new thing of like, is this worth my time? What's going on? That's a natural thing. Are you starting a thing right? Absolutely. 10 of Swords, it's a lot of work to do anything. All perfectly natural. And then we have our Knight who comes in with action. It is the progressed page. It's the next step. This isn't their first rodeo. And we have it slicing the butterfly. We have it with our strong air, our strong intellect going, no, I know I have this because we're going to end in justice. We have the King of Wands. We are closing the circle. We want to create our community. We know that this is not the time to sit and cry and wallow and just fall prostrate on the ground. It is time for action, and that is exactly what the Knight of Swords has for you. And so that is our reading. Now, do you have any more questions or anything that you would like to talk about or ask more about for Witchcraft TV?
So over here, you said there was you had one that was inverted that needed work?
Yes, the High Priestess.
Right, so what's that all about?
So let's talk about it. Well, so what it looks like to me is a more inclusion in a more Earth models. So we have the Queen of Pentacles upside down. That could be a great thing to have some Ostara events planned. Or, because this is literally, our Queen of Pentacles is Mother Earth. It is also all about nourishing ourselves physically and in the earth. She usually has rabbits, and that is multiplying, fecundity, all that kind of stuff. Big Ostara Easter energy. We have her upside down, but we also have our Five of Pentacles, which the fives are always about things going ass over tea kettle. That's good. So it's not malicious. It's not maligned. It's not something that you're physically doing, because when you have the Pentacles, that is manifest. That's the earth element. It's not, it's more of an oversight or just something that hasn't naturally fallen into place than a malicious, I don't want to have this energy involved. But it would, so we also have the Magician upside down, which is lacking that it's a piece is missing. The magician holds all of the suits, and so when you have a piece missing, you're not going to be feeling in your mojo. So this suggestion is nourishing yourself. So also that can lead to: are you eating? Are you sleeping? What are you doing to help people eat and sleep, to tap into that energy? The High Priestess is also talking about, I mean, from really the relation of all of these cards is getting more Earth Mamas involved, doing more Earth Mama things, doing things for the Earth, more Earth magic, more moon magic, dealing with those deities. I personally completely understand that when you have, you've got your people, you've got your energies that you're, and that's always going to leave you with an open spot, with kind of a blind spot. And it seems like to reach that justice, you already have a very kind and gentle King of Wands. He's such a chill dude, because there's not always chill in all the decks. This deck is a super chill dude, ready. It's that he is secure in his masculinity to go, tell me more. And I think this is what the opportunity is showing, is to take your knowledge and your spirituality and this beautiful new project and to go, where's my blind spot? Oh, maybe we need to have more big Earth Mamas. Maybe we need to have more Gaia energy. Maybe we need to go do things for the environment. Maybe we need to plant a garden. And part of Witch TV is we're going to watch our plant grow. We're going to nourish that, because it is, and then tapping that into the mystic and the divine. Maybe we're doing moon gardening. Maybe you have a section on lunar gardening. And it's just a way to round it out, to hit more of the points on the board. But I don't take it as a negative. It's just a place for growth.
And the conclusion trajectory is justice.
And this is a hardcore justice. You could see the knife point is on the eye. This is a true, Hierophant upside down. We are not the Pope. We are not doing this the way as it is written. This is not some Abrahamic Talmudic business. We are blazing our own path. This is not following the ways of traditional written down. Traditions are meant to have the embers go for the future, not wallow in the ashes. And the Hierophant is the king of the ash wallowers. And this is not what's happening. It's justice. It's different.
So as far as the cards are let out, what would, it just seems like there's you explained it already, and I'll go back on the recording and look at it more in depth, but just the inverted with the priestess.
Yeah.
What else do you see in the card spread that could be a challenging endeavor for Witchcraft TV, and just for some insight?
Yeah. Indulgence. But, so we have the devil upside down, and this devil card, like, her masculine cards are masculine, and her, like, she plays with the different levels, and this devil is no joke. This devil is that guy who comes, and he's like, oh, baby, and sweet talking you, and then takes all your money and crashes your car. This devil is not a mess. Now, he's upside down, so it is in this question of what are other potential things. So this is intense, because the other super hyper masculine card in this deck particular that I really see as like the man, the patriarchy, is the Emperor. And this Emperor is like, he's faceless, but it's just the suit. It's the total like madman thing. But we have them in a really interesting position. So in the question that was asked, what are other potential things to be, what are other flying spots? What are other things to be mindful of in the future of this endeavor? And rejecting temptation, which is kind of a given, which is great. So you're not going to be tempted, but to go into full patriarchal dude mode. And I feel like that is what she's trying to say is, let's elevate the ladies, or elevate that earthy mama magic in whichever way feels, because you've got the stones, you've got the wherewithal, you've got the spark to do it. There's no resistance to it. It's just needs to be a focus. It's not going to necessarily be a temptation to go full emperor and the daddy. It's just something to be mindful of. And the Four of Swords is taking that breath. So the Four of Swords is a great way of helping get to that hangman of taking a break, because it is the meditation, the monk. There are things happening. So maybe when you feel that pull, meditate on it. Take a break. And there is, there might be swinging dangers all around you. Take that break. It's a warrior card. And our darling, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck, is our page. Our Page of Cups. She holds the key. So there are challenges, but you also have supporters. So the things to be interested about is what kind of resisting temptation and recognizing temptation when it's there and go. I mean, literally, it's the Not Today Satan card. Upside down, the devil. We have the Emperor, which is just we live in a natural patriarchal world of being like, well, I'm in control. When you feel that kind of control wave, rest. Know the sword, you can block any of the swords that are coming. You can sit in that tempest, and the heart holds the key. And we have that page again, that useful energy to go, I'm going to take a heart-based approach to this, not necessarily the very societal, like, this is how things are supposed to be. No, because we're not doing things that way. The Hierophant is not part of the picture. But we all have those moments where we have to check ourselves. Take a break, be heart forward, and then look over the situation and address it as the King of Wands, not as the Emperor.
I like it.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to know more about or have any questions on?
What would Spirit say about those that cause disarray or reputational damage to the ultimate goal of embracing the core of the craft back to Mother Nature, and getting away from our trajectory of justice? Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we want to do. What would be what does Spirit say for? I don't know if there's folks that are causing disarray and reputational damage of the platform itself. What would?
How do we deal with haters?
Yeah. What do we do with the haters?
I'm gonna cut the deck. And it says 10 of Wands upside down. 10 of Wands is all about burden. Do not burden yourself with these people. Oh, this one. You gotta let it go. You have to unburden, and we'll look at what's behind it. So I just cut the deck randomly, and 10 of Wands is the burden card, and this is upside down. So we don't have to burden ourselves with other people. We cannot control anyone but ourselves. We can take those pauses. We can be heart-centered. We can be community-centered. We can take our page energy and our desire to connect with our community and connect with our people and move forward. Behind that, so the secret, what else are you telling me, is judgment. Now, the beauty about this particular judgment card that Stasia says in her wonderful little booklet is that it's a woman in a cocoon. And judgment is also about choice. She gets to decide when she emerges from her toasty little blanket, what she's going to do when she emerges from her toasty little blanket. And so I feel like when you have the haters and you're feeling that, you get to judge. They don't get to judge. You get to judge. So you get to decide how much of that is actual feedback. How much of that is just criticism and other people's judgment. You get to be in your cozy little space and decide. That's what I have to say about that.
So it's basically they don't exist.
Well, basically, don't waste your energy.
Right.
is don't burden yourself with it. You can emerge from your womb. It's a very womby, vaginal, warmy card. Is that the judgment is your own to make. Other people can judge you, but you can decide how much of that to absorb. Because you are on the right path. You have goals that are not placing you in a space. If you check the Emperor energy, you take the time to pause, and you keep that spirit of the Queen of Cups, of that mature, thoughtful feeling, and the youthful energy, you'll just keep moving along.
It's really cool. We just had someone on the station that was like Queen of Cups energy.
Yeah.
We got to get some more.
I think so. I think more queens. I think definitely we have spring coming. We're going into Aries season. We can talk about seeds. You can talk about what are right ways to nurture the earth. Living here in the Pacific Northwest and other places, we have a wonderfully long growing season. We have a way to feed ourselves, to feed our community, to share seeds, to share seedlings, to share knowledge. I mean, there comes a point when everyone gets really excited in the spring, starts a bunch of plants, and then what are you going to do with 35 zucchinis? You're going to give them to your friends. You're going to learn how to make zucchini bread. You're going to learn how to make zucchini powder. I think we're dealing with things right now, too. There is a general lack in the conversation, especially in our country, the U.S. right now today, of a real lack of high priestess energy. It is an overwhelming emperor, devil, king of swords, do it my way or no way, splitting down the half. And having Queen of Cups and even the King of Wands in this very mindful, earthy, druidic way is what we need to promote, because the voices of the earth, we pulled out in Paris Accords, we're stopping, thinking about how we are actually affecting our environment. So doing things that nurture us all and nurture our spirit, we got to get down in the mud. We got to get down in the mud and elevate the voices who speak for the mothers.
Well, thank you so much for reading the cards for Witchcraft TV, the spirit of Witchcraft TV. Can you tell our viewers who you are, your name, and how they might contact you personally for more in-depth reading? If they want to reach out to you.
Yeah.
How do they find you?
So I'm based out of Olympia, but I like to meet with people in person at least once. Zoom would probably count too, because I like to have a connection with my people. I feel that creating community right now, IRL, and utilizing the internet as the tool that we were always told it was supposed to be, is the most effective way for my practice. I go through Boom Studios in Olympia, so you can go to galleryboomshop.com. That is a way I'm teaching a whole series on classes on intuitive reading. And you can also email me at VIDALIAH, VIDALIAH, @gmail.com for readings. I do parties, I do groups. I'm super open, and I'm working on a lot of cool things down here in Centralia as well as in Oregon.
I also heard once a month you're over right here at New Moon Essence.
I am. And it's a wonderful community. And I said also, it is a temple of Athena and of other deities. So if you feel like you want to connect with people on a various deity front, this is the place to start.
Thank you so much for coming on and helping out the station, the network. And thank you so much. Blessed be.
Thank you. Blessed be.